All praises to Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. My name is Karab.
My name is Shamwal Abasad.
My name is Officer Zachariah Von Yahweh of the Lions of Israel camp.
I have been in this knowledge for 31 years, since 1988.
I've been in the truth for 9 years.
I've been in the truth for 3 years. Before I came into this truth, I was in a gang, and I did a lot of wickedness towards my own people.
Before I became an Israelite, I was in the church, eating pork and doing abominable things.
I was a Rastafarian before I came into this knowledge. The Lord is looking for a few good men, because our Lord Christ says that the harvest is plentiful and the laborers are few. Donate to the Lions of Israel Building Fund so that we can teach our people their true language.
So the Spirit moves you. Donate to the Lions of Israel Building Fund to wake our people up.
Brothers and sisters, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
And I beheld heaven open, and behold the white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he's a judge and make war. We are at
so you better lace your straps up.
And spiritual.
We're at war, so you better lace your straps up.
Man, the hell up Israel.
This is war.
We are at war.
So you better lace your straps up.
And spiritual.
We're at war, so you better lace your straps up.
Big tanks, warships, and planted hands with small chips. North Korea, Russian spies, war is at our doorsteps. History doesn't lie, they beat the slaves with horse whips. So I think it's only right we pay them back with small tips. End of time, spoken of, it's gonna get a little warm. Daniel 7 started 8, judgment of the little horn that beat us down, held us back, called us by obscenities. Prepare us a table in the presence of our enemies and pay them back. Worse than that, they argue that the earth is flat. Our babies dying, mothers crying, cities full of murdered blacks. Hispanics too, they hate you too. Edomites are not your friend. Harmless smile behind the scenes. They tracking you through iPhone 10 technologies, through policy. We served them since the colonies. This ain't our rest, my mind is right. This place is hell, I'm not at ease. I swore an oath with every breath. I promise to defend the law. Sword is sharpened, armored up. I'm calling for the men of
This
war.
is war.
We are at
So
war.
you better lace your straps up.
Physical and spiritual.
We're at war, so you better lace your straps up.
Man, the hell up Israel.
This is war,
We are at war.
so you better lace your straps up.
Physical and spiritual.
We're at war, so you better lace your straps
Man, the
up.
hell up Israel.
Alright, y'all, shalom. Another Sabbath done hit in, man, and we here again, to bring out the word, hopefully edify the people. So it's Brother Debat here with Lions of Israel, Detroit. We have Elder Ariala. You got to hit the mute button to come off, Mike.
All right. So Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah, King. It's a good Sabbath to be together, to gather on this lesson that you're getting ready to bring out. And we're going to give all glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And we're going to give thanks for this Sabbath day. Another day that we came through this week, through this misery that we're in, that we're in this land, that we're still in our captives' hands. And we got to pray on this to get us up out of here and start keeping these laws and commandments and repent.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So without further ado, how you feel about read? You want to read, or you just want me to go ahead and handle it?
No, we can. I'm trying to read. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
All right, because yours is still low for some reason. I don't know why. And I got it up on my end high as it can, but I'm gonna try to hear it and where we're going. All right, let's go. Let's get started.
Okay. Real quick in the chat, if my audio is good, just put a 1 in the chat real quick. Try to be as clear as possible. I don't know if brothers can hear me. My audio good, please put a 1 in the chat. 1, 2, 3, or 4, don't matter. Okay, kind. All praise to the Most High. So yeah, my audio good. I'll try to talk a little louder so you can hear me. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Gotta open it back up my phone. Right. So before we even go to any scripture, right, I'm gonna share my screen. It's a video, right, that I want to start this class off with, because y'all see the title, right? It's Train Up a Child, right, and the Parallelisms of School and Prison, right? And it's a 5-minute video. Let majority of it play, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of kick the class off. You know, it's a brother that it might be a rap, it might be a poem. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but I'm gonna play it. This is how y'all check it out. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, we send our kids to this in society and to these schools, and we just expect the teachers to, you know, really just, you know, literally teach them everything, and we expect them to be okay. You know, so when they start coming home and we see them bringing in these different different guys, you know what I'm saying, bringing in these pictures of them coloring turkeys around Thanksgiving time, them creating Christmas trees, you know what I'm saying, it makes us mad, it pisses us off, you know. But again, this is kind of what this lesson is about, you know. So I share my screen, so let me go ahead and I'm gonna mute your mic real quick, and I'm gonna mute mine and let this video play. All right, Salaki, I just wanted to stop it real quick and just Salaki, y'all couldn't hear that. All right, let me try it again. That's probably because I muted my mic. Salaki, y'all, I'm gonna start it from the beginning again. Start it from the beginning. Let's go.
Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today on trial we have modern day schooling. Glad you could come. Not only does he make fish climb trees, but also makes them climb down and do.
All right, Khan, y'all hear it now? Khan. All right. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna unpause it.
A 10-mile run. Tell me, school, are you proud of the things you've done? Turning millions of people into robots, do you find that fun? Do you realize how many kids relate to that fish swimming upstream in class, never finding their gifts, thinking they are stupid, believing they are useless? Well, the time has come, no more excuses. I call school to the stand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive. He's an ancient institution that has outlived his usage. So, Your Honor, this concludes my opening statement, and if I may present the evidence of my case, I will prove it.
Proceed.
Exhibit A. Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed. Yet you claim to prepare students for the future? But with evidence like that, I must ask.
All right, Salakia, y'all. So y'all see that? He literally showed the picture of the classroom looking the exact same. You know, it looks the exact same. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they want to see everything grow but you. Right? This is why our school systems, especially in the rural neighborhoods, you know, they don't have a whole lot of extracurricular activities. You know what I'm saying? And then they, you know, don't promote it like that either. You know what I'm saying? And then also what else happens when we are in extracurricular activities, whether it be, you know, via basketball team, debate team, football team, things of that nature. Guess what? Our parents have to work so much they can't even come out and support us. You know what I'm saying? So just let's just keep listening.
Do you prepare students for the future or the past? I did a background check on you and let the record show that you were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat, tell them sit still, raise your hand if you want to speak, give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell them what to think. Oh, and make them compete to get an A, a letter which determines product quality, hence grade A of meat. I get it. Back then, times were different. We all have a past. I myself am no Gandhi. But today, we don't need to make robot zombies. The world has progressed. And now we need people who think creatively, innovatively, critically, independently, with the ability to connect. See, every scientist will tell you that no two brains are the same. And every parent with 2 or more children will confirm that claim. So please explain why you treat students like cookie cutter frames or snapback hats, giving them this one-size-fits-all crap.
What's your language?
Sorry, Your Honor, but if a doctor prescribed the exact same medicine to all of his patients, the results will be tragic. So many people would get sick, yet when it comes to school, this is exactly what happens. This education.
See that? So that's exactly what happens in the school system. This is why you'll have your section that does great. You'll have another section that does not so great. And then you even have your the section where I don't want to use the word poor, but they don't catch it as the others catch it. You know what I'm saying? And you have this one teacher, and you expect this one teacher, at least in our neighborhoods, to teach 30 or more students at the same entire time. There's no way possible an hour is enough time to literally sit with all these different children. You know what I'm saying? So why not bring in more teachers? Why not lessen the load on these teachers? You know what I'm saying? It's literally because they don't care. They want to feed us the medicine just the way that these doctors do when you go to the hospital, which is why a lot of us hate going to the hospital, myself included. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you tell them a couple symptoms, they're going to write you something based off those symptoms. Right? And if your insurance is not good enough, you know what I'm saying? They just going to tell you anything, or they may even tell you, we don't know what's wrong, and they'll send you packing, send you on your way. The same way our school system does, right? And no, this is not every single school, but for the most part, this is generally, you know, in the rural area, right? In the so-called ghettos, you know, where our people are. This is where this happens. All right, let's keep going.
Educational malpractice, where one teacher stands in front of 20 kids, each one having different strengths, different needs, different gifts, different dreams, and you teach the same thing the same way? That's horrific. Ladies and gentlemen, the defendant should not be acquitted. This may be one of the worst criminal offenses ever to be committed. And let's mention the way you treat your employees.
Objection. Overruled. I want to hear this.
It's a shame. I mean, teachers have the most important job on the planet, yet they're underpaid. No wonder so many students are short-changed. Let's be honest. Teachers should earn just as much as doctors, because a doctor can do heart surgery and save the life of a kid, but a great teacher can reach the heart of that kid and allow him to truly live. See, teachers are heroes that often get blamed, but they're not the problem. They work in a system without many options or rights. Curriculums are created by policymakers, most of which have never taught a day in their life. Just obsessed with standardized tests. They think bubbling in a multiple choice question will determine success. That's outlandish. In fact, these tests are too cruel to be used and should be abandoned, but don't take my word for it. Take Frederick J. Kelly, the man who invented standardized testing, who said, and I quote, "These tests are too cruel to be used and should be abandoned." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if we continue down this road, the results will be lethal. I don't have much faith in school, but I do have faith in people. And if we can customize healthcare, cars, and Facebook pages, then it is our duty to do the same for education, to upgrade and change and do away with school spirit, because that's useless. Unless we're working to bring the spirit out of each and every student, that should be our task. No more Common Core. Instead, let's reach the core of every heart in every class. Sure, math is important, but no more than art or dance. Let's give every gift an equal chance. I know this sounds like a dream, but countries like Finland are doing impressive things. They have shorter school days. Teachers make a decent wage. Homework is non-existent, and they focus on collaboration instead of competition. But here's the kicker, boys and girls. Their educational system outperforms every other country in the world. Other places like Singapore are succeeding rapidly. Schools like Montessori, programs like Khan Academy, there is no single solution. But let's get moving, because while students may be 20% of our population, they are 100% of our future. So let's attend to their dreams, and there's no telling what we can achieve. This is a world in which I believe, a world where fish are no longer forced to climb trees. I'll rest my case.
All right, so brother had, brother definitely has some bars in there, man. You know, it's real sad, man. You know, it's real sad, the state of, our children as we know it, you know what I'm saying, especially the ones that don't have this truth, and parents are not inside of these scriptures, literally going over it with it and teaching them, and they get to these schools and they don't have the confidence, right? They don't have the confidence. The teachers don't give them the confidence. They don't care. A lot of them, you'll be lucky to find one teacher that actually cares, you know. And I literally I would say that I had two, you know what I'm saying, that literally will recognize my face even if I've seen them today, you know. So it's, you know, it's a shame we literally gotta start, you know, honing in on our kids, you know what I'm saying, being on them like white on rice, you know, being down their back, making sure that they straight with the Lord, straight with the Most High, right? Because that's where it all starts at. It starts at home, and it starts with His word. All right, so you can go ahead and unmute, Elder, and you can grab Proverbs 22, and we're gonna start at verse 6.
Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
All right, read that again.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
All right, so training up a child, you know, because again, our children are going to make mistakes, yes, right? But if they have a foundation, something to come back to, something to think back on, guess what? They when they get older, hey, they know their way back to the Lord. They know their way back home. They know their way back to their mother and their father. If you literally train them up, right? Because again, it says train them up while they're young, because when they get older, hey, they may not be under your rulership anymore, you know, and they're going to go out into the world and things of that nature, and their foundation is going to determine their success. So if they don't have a good foundation, hey, what you going to expect? You're going to expect them to become a doctor or a lawyer? Not saying that it can't happen, but what are the odds of someone that don't lay a foundation, you know, versus someone that does and their children becoming successful? Right, especially when it comes down to these law, statutes, and commandments. All right, so give me Proverbs chapter 4 and verse number 26.
Proverbs 4, verse 26. Did you? Okay, Proverbs 4 and 26.
Come.
Point the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Did you hear me?
Come, I heard you. Keep going.
Okay. It says, ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established.
And read verse 27.
Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy feet from evil.
All right, so this is what we're supposed to do, especially as the adults. Right, we have to ponder the path of our feet, see which way we're going. Right, see which way we're going first, because if we're not moving in the right direction, we're going to be dragging our kids right along with us. And guess what? That's a whole nother generation that's not looking at what it is that they're doing, not following in the ways that they should be following, not even knowing what commandments are laid out for us to keep. You know, so again, this is going to be like a real repetitive lesson. Pour into our children, right? They're the future. We may not walk into the kingdom, right? We may have came into this thing like, hey, yeah, man, hey, how wish I came down? He said, hey, if I keep these commandments, I'm getting everlasting life. You know, I'm gonna get everlasting life. I'm gonna be able to live forever. You know, we're gonna be in the kingdom. We're gonna be this. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? It may not be for you to walk into the kingdom. Not saying that you won't get it, but it may not be for you to walk into the kingdom. So we literally have to prepare our children for the things to come, right? Because if we don't, then guess what? Everything is going to be lost, right? Everything is going to be lost, And guess what? You have a perverse generation that you will be raising if you don't get these children inside these Bibles. You know what I'm saying? Right. So,
And that goes back into where our first scripture went to. He say, raise up a child that he goes and he stays in that path. And because we know as ourselves, I know for myself, as growing up, by me not being raised by mostly women's and having no man, a man which I say a spiritual man. I had a man in my family, in my life, my stepfather, but he didn't know the laws and commandments because he didn't know, because he wasn't taught. So if he wasn't taught them, how could he teach me to do them? How could he teach me to be a man? How could he teach me to keep the laws and commandments? Because he didn't know them. And so, just like you said, and right now is a dreadful time for our children to be out here, especially when they have to deal with this world on a daily basis, because they're being taught it's okay to be homosexual, it's okay to be a dyke, it's okay to worship Esau, it's okay to hate your brother, to misuse your wife, to not love your children. So then in this time, if they're growing that up as this right now, and they're going into their life, they're doing the same thing we did.
right.
They're not being taught. They're not being trained into these laws and commandments and statutes, in which we need to be at right now, especially us as Israelites, because we are, to say, be truthful, we are lawless people. We don't even consider the Most High. We don't even think about, hey, is it a God? Or why? Or ask questions. He wants you to ask questions. He wants you to know these things. Why we are in the predicament we're in. Why we can't come out of these curses. Because, hey, we don't want to listen to him. We want to listen to the world.
right. All right. So grab me. Let's go to Joel. Go to Joel chapter 1. You're absolutely right. We want to do everything under the sun except what the Most High commanded us to do. You know, it's easy to go out here and celebrate the birthday. It's easy to go out here and to receive gifts for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? But when we say, hey, Christmas is wicked, put that thing up, you know, people always say, well, my kids, you know, what about my kids? Well, I do it for the children. Yeah, hey, you're going to lead your children to death. You keep leading them that way. You know what I'm saying? Literally them about a so-called white man inside of a red suit, you know, coming down your chimney. Right? That man is a thief, and you better kick him out immediately. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if somebody comes down your chimney, you better jump and beat him. All right.
Yep,
So,
hold on.
literally, we literally got
Joel and what? Which one?
chapter
Where
1.
we going?
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1 and what?
Verse 1, 1 through 3.
Okay. Joel 1. The word of the Lord, the word of the Most High that came to Joel, the son of Pethiah. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear.
All right, so this is for the elders. This is for the older men, right? We have to give ear to this thing, right? Go ahead.
All you inhabitants of the land,
Right? And everybody
have
else.
this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers. Tell your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation.
See, we supposed to constantly tell them these things, right? Constantly, and it ain't. Yeah, we definitely supposed to drive home the law, but we're supposed to tell them other times to come, right? This is what Joel was prophesying the future here. You know what I'm saying? He was prophesying the future, so we have to tell them of World War III that's coming, that's on the horizon, right? No matter how it may sound, we may have to tell them that, hey, Hey, police, while your father out here street teaching, police might take him to jail. Police might gun him down. We have to tell them of these things, because if we don't tell them, how can they know? If we don't tell them, that those type of things will literally drive children crazy. What do you think happened to these people that we see out and on the store corners inside the gas stations? You know what I'm saying? They literally, maybe, and I don't say this to be funny, but one crack rock away from being a sane-minded person. Why? Because they mother might have died, or their child might have died. You know what I'm saying? Or they lost their job and they just couldn't return from it. All of these things can literally take place in somebody's house. So we have to tell our children, hey, when adversity strikes, we got to keep the plow pushing. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep the work going. None of this stuff stops. Keeping the commandments, don't stop. Keeping Passover, don't stop. Regardless of what it is that we're going through, we have to continue to push through and continue to go out to these highways and byways and tell our people, to warn our people until we up out of here. That's our job until the Most High crack them skies. You know what I'm saying? That's our job. And we must do it. And we have to teach our children. All right, so let's go to 1 Kings. Let's go to Solomon, right?
Solomon?
Yeah, 1 Kings though. I'm saying we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to 1 Kings. All right, 1 Kings chapter 3. All right.
First King, what chapter?
Chapter 3.
Okay.
Right, and we're gonna start we're starting at verse 5, because we gotta go again. This is to go to your ancestors. Right, see what it is that they've done. And then you have, remember, ponder the path of thy feet. And this is what we're doing right now. This is the path of our feet right here, this Bible. Right. So we're gonna go in here, we're gonna look at what Solomon did, right? So go ahead, start at verse 5.
All right, 1 King, chapter 3, verse 5. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in dream by night. And God said, ask what shall I give thee? And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercies, according to that has walked before thy in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of the heart with thee. Thou hast kept from him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son set on his throne as it is this day. And now, O Lord, my Elohim, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father. And I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in.
All right, so as a little child, he recognizes his age. He knows he's a little child. He says, I don't know how to come out and go in. Right? Hey, I don't know what to do. You making me king over all of these people? I have the slightest clue what to do. Right? And this is, again, if there's any children listening, pay attention, right? This is something that we should read to our children every single time. Because our kids love to say, I know, I always said it. My mama asked me something, I don't know. And I ain't even trying to figure it out. Right? This is what we must do as children. This is what your children must do, right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered, nor counted for multitudes. Give therefore thy servant understanding how to judge thy peoples,
right? So
that I may.
He asks for understand the heart to judge the people, right? To judge the people. What comes along with judging is also teaching. He's not just sitting there saying, "Hey, man, you were stupid for doing that, and this is your punishment." No, he literally handed down punishments, handing down judgments, and he also taught them the correct way to do it after he learned. Right? He said he asked for wisdom of these things. Right? Read on.
I'm going to go 9 again. Give thy servant an understanding of heart to judge thy peoples, that I might discern between good and evil, good and bad. From who is able to judge this, thy so great a people?
Right. So, and that's one thing that we don't do. We don't try to discern between good and bad or right and wrong. Right. Some things that's right and wrong, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? You get that heavy feeling in your chest or that heavy feeling in your throat. You feel when you done did or said something wrong. But guess what? Our people don't even want to recognize that. Right. Our people, especially the adults, right? Adults, you've been a child before. You know what it looks like. You know what it sounds like, right? For your children to be kind of out of whack. You can look at your child and tell that they did something wrong. Most of the times. You know what I'm saying? Until they get a little older, they can hide it a little bit better. But even then, you still kind of feel it. Why? Because you've been there before. Right? It's a reason you are where you are. It's a reason why you're a parent. And regardless of whether that child comes to you or not, you go to that child, you check on them or him or her, right? And you literally make sure that they're okay. You literally teach them, hey, ask God for discernment. Ask God the things that you need to know, that the things that are good, the things that are evil. Because the thing that a lot of children don't think evil, like what? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween. They don't see anything wrong with that at their age. Even when you break down the history, you know what I'm saying? They'll listen, not saying that they can't understand, but guess what they see? They see candy. They see presents. Right? They see food. They see toys. They see all of these things to blind them from the truth of what all of these things mean. So now what you got? You have a struggle on your hands. You're not fighting with flesh and blood. You're fighting with these spiritual wickedness in high places. Right, read on.
God. And then let's give him an understanding. When he's saying is the heart, he's not talking about the heart that pumps this blood through your body. He's talking about your brain, your mind. It's what you use to think with. Because your heart does nothing but pump blood. It's your brain that he's asking for. But your understanding, that you get understanding through him, to be a knowledge that he is the greatest and the higher God. And that he's not going to give you or put on you any more than you can bear. And right now, this what Solomon has is to bear this peoples, this great peoples, that he want to be a righteous king towards his peoples. He want to love them and treat them as we supposed to do every day with each other. That's something that we're not doing. Right. We don't have love for each other. We don't even ask the Most High for understanding of how to love my brother, how to respect my wife, how to love my children. Right. We think, hey, whatever we do is fine. But the Most High say, no. I got laws and commandments to judge you by. And that I'm going to give this to Solomon, and he's going to judge you by. He's going to be a righteous king towards you.
Right.
All right. Kings 1 and 10. And the speech pleases the Most High, that Solomon had asked this thing. Yahweh said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thy enemy, but hast asked for thyself understanding, the sense of judgments. Behold, I have done according thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like this before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so there shall not be any amongst the kings like unto this all thy days.
See that? So, and this is what he got. When he asks for those things, then this is what we got to teach our children. When you ask for wisdom on how to do things, again, he ain't just saying that, hey, I just asked for understanding and then I didn't put my hands to work. No, Solomon had understanding of the law, statutes, and commandments. And guess what? Solomon also did things, right? Solomon literally built houses. He knew how to do that, right? He knew how to work with his hands. So do you think he was just sitting around, oh, I'm king, I don't have to do nothing? You know what I'm saying? I got all of this understanding. I ain't got to tell nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just I'm going to sit and I'm going to mind my business, right? Sometimes it's okay to mind your business, but when somebody's doing something wicked, you can't mind your business when it's your people, right? He tells us to go out and warn our people time after time after time again. So as much wickedness as they do, and that's as much as correction as they need. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't sitting there telling you every single so-called black person you see, if you see him stealing, you got to go confront him. Just every single one. Nah, you be out there fighting everybody. You know what I'm saying? But it's a time and a place for everything. All right, it's a time and a place for everything. So let's go.
Come on.
Let's go to the book of Psalms. And we're going to go to chapter 8. All right, because once all of your children learn these things, this is something that they can do, right? So let's go to chapter 8. Let's start at 3 verse 1 and 2.
Psalm chapter 8, verse 1. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes, suckling hast thou ordained, strengthening because of thy enemies, that thou mightest still the enemies and the avengers.
All right, so he's literally saying, hey, this is out of the mouth of babes. That's his strength, right? Our children, our youth is our strength, right? This is how you can to carry on generation after generation after generation. Because if you're the smartest one in your family, hey, your family it's a failure. You can't just be the smartest one in your family. Why? Because other people, you have to teach them. You have to have your sons and your sons, right? And your daughters and your wives. You know what I'm saying? We all have to come together as a collective unit and create a wonderful thing that comes in behind us. And guess what? When they get older, they do the same thing. Else, we end up in captivity like we are right now. You know what I'm saying? Our people end up being captured by our enemies like we are till this day. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, give me the book of Baruch. Give me the book of Baruch. I believe I'm on chapter 2. Let me get to it. Yep, chapter 2 and verse 1.
All right.
This is what happened, man. This is literally what happened to us. Because why? We wasn't teaching our children and our children after that. So guess what? They grew up not knowing the Most High, and they blaspheming him. They blaspheming the Most High because they don't know anything about him. Because some of our ancestors wasn't teaching their children. All right, this is something that we have to do. Because we're trying to present
2 and 1.
Okay. 2 and 1. Yep.
All right. All right. Baruch chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart upright.
No,
Wait a minute.
that's Sluggy Elder. That's you and Sirach. I want Baruch.
Oh, hold on.
And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I know
What
what
page is that?
I actually don't have it right in front of me.
All right, hold on. I got it.
Okay.
107.
Yeah, I have it. I got to pull it up on my phone right now.
I got 107 and 2. Okay. Verse starting at 1. Baruch chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel, and granted our kings, and granted our priests,
against.
and gained the men of Israel and Judah.
Right. So he literally made good on this promise. Right. The things that he pronounced against all of us, including our children. He made good on that promise. Right. Read verse 2.
To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heavens, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that was written in the law of Moses.
Right. He made good on that promise. Right. So we have to understand and look at our forefathers, see where they went off at, see where they made mistakes at. And we have to come back in and we have to correct that thing. Right. We have to correct it. We can't continue doing what they did. Why? Because we continue to be in the same predicament. And I know any brother and sister that I know, and even if I don't know you or ever met you, I guarantee that you're ready to get up out this captivity. I know I am. So guess what we must do? It starts within our home. We have to teach our children. We have to go out. We have to teach the other adults so they can do what? Teach their children. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they're our strength. There's literally our strength. Let's go back to Psalms chapter 8 and read verse 2 again.
Psalms 8 and 2. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained the strength because of thy enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avengers.
All right, so that's all. I really wanted that part, right? Out of the mouth of babes, right? So I got a couple more videos. That's gonna be it after this for the videos, right? So let me share my screen again. A couple more videos. All right, this first one is a short one. Right, and yeah, this is a video of another nation. This is also a video of a movie that I have never seen in my life. Probably will never see it. But just check out what she says, right?
My dad said schools are basically prisons. They keep kids locked up physically and mentally, prepare them for jobs that are also basically prisons until they retire and go to a nursing home. Their final prison.
School is not a prison.
Can I leave whenever I want to?
It's a little like a prison. Amazing.
All right, y'all see that? So, you know, some will call her, you know, being a smart ass. Some won't. But he couldn't help but to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because when she asks, well, can I leave when I want to? He had no fight back. You know what I'm saying? No, you can't leave. You know what I'm saying? These are what we're gonna go over now is some of the similarities, right? We're gonna go over you know, most people know about it, the school to prison pipeline, right? And we're gonna hear this. We're gonna hear this out of the mouth of some more babes, right? out of the mouth of some more babes, breaking down the school to prison pipeline. Right, and this is a 3:45, so we're gonna kind of let them bring it out, break this thing down, and we're just gonna compare it. We're gonna compare it to the text, and we're gonna see what school is when we even read school inside the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Versus what the things are today and what's taught today, and how it's taught, and what it looks like. Right, because that's just one similarity of them not being able to leave when you want to leave. You have to be let out of the school when the authoritative say it's time for you to get up out of there. All right, so let's listen to this video.
Hey, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Darren. And
we are breaking it down. So, Darren, have you heard of the school to prison pipeline?
Yeah, what do you know about it?
Well, it's a system of policies and practices that push disadvantaged students from schools to prisons.
By disadvantaged, do you mean kids who don't have financial support, positive role models, or who are in foster care?
Yes, according to the ACLU, there are 5 major factors that contribute to the pipeline. The first is failing schools.
By failing schools, we mean overcrowded classrooms, lack of quality teachers and books, few counselors, and few special education services.
And how is that? Again, this literally, you can boil it down to teachers not caring. You know, some of them. You know, I'm not going to put that on all teachers, but you can boil it down to teachers not caring. You could definitely boil it down to literally your classroom, your atmosphere. You cramming 30 children in there, knowing that you at least half of them, and that's at the minimum, at least half of them need special and close attention. They need one-on-one time. And you have to get all of that done within an hour to a 3-hour span before you go to see another teacher. And now that teacher has to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Why not literally you have a set of teachers and all of y'all literally in the class? Why don't y'all be in the classroom at the same time? You know what I'm saying? Lessen the amount of students you have in the class, increase the teachers, and I guarantee you, guess what? Grades will increase. The school won't be considered a failing school, right? And teach something that's useful, right? But let's keep going.
In failing schools, some students lose interest, and this leads to high dropout rates.
The second factor that contributes to the pipeline are school discipline policies, such as zero tolerance.
The zero tolerance policy is the act of applying harsh penalties to minor offenses like throwing a pencil or bringing scissors to school. These types of disciplinary policies disproportionately affect students of color and students with special needs.
The amount of students who have been suspended from school have grown drastically from 1.7 million in 1974 to 3.1 million in 2000, and most of them are children of color.
See that? And because this is a very old video, right? So that's literally 1.4 million in a span of 26 years. And most of these children belong to us, right? These are the children of Israel, right? And again, we understand that it's in their system. Hey, we're in captivity. You know, if you are able and can afford to homeschool your children, we literally, we support that wholeheartedly. But for the ones that can't, guess what we have to do? We have to work harder. Because not only do we already come from a background of having to literally scrape off that dirt and that filth from the world, from ourselves. And if we had children and they might have taken part in that, we have to scrape that dirt off of them. And then guess what? When they go to inside of these schools, they have to come home. We have to keep scraping that dirt. We have to wash them, clean them every single day. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like this can't happen. You know, you're literally suspending children. And again, they've stopped a lot of that. Now they've came up with in-school suspension and things of that nature. You know, and I can't necessarily speak to that process because I didn't have it when I was in school. But children literally sometimes literally being expelled, can never come back to a particular school. You know what I'm saying? And all for what? We're supposed to, yeah, you discipline them, but you're supposed to teach them. You literally suspend them and they're out of school, what, 3 days to 5 days? And then now you have a so-called parent-teacher conference, or not a parent-teacher conference, but a so-called conference when it's time to come back to school, when the whole time that they're suspended, why not have a conference every day? Or why not have them inside the office showing them things? Right? This is what we should look for in our schools. There are some schools that do these things, but again, for the majority of them, especially in our communities, you know, it's can't really find it too much.
And now, and if you go back and you think about what you were saying about how the students might have one or two teachers there to that really care, but then if you got that one or two teachers, now hey, they don't even have the paper, they don't even have pencils in schools in our neighborhoods. But you go to 13, 14 mile, I guarantee you they got everything they need. They got more than they need. Yeah. But when it comes to our schools in the inner city, they short. They don't know where to get the money from. That's because they're putting it in their pocket when it comes to us.
Right.
But when it comes to them, they give them the best education they can get. Hey, they got the best facilities. They have everything, and it makes you feel good when you can go into a building knowing that hey, you're in there, you're not seeing roaches and rats running across your floor where you got to eat lunch at, or hey, you got a teacher like you say that really care and see that you're having trouble and want to spend that extra time with you. But your surrounding makes a big difference. I think when it comes to being educated and being around people who's giving a positive attitude towards our children that we need, and homeschooling is a great idea for our children because now you know what they're being taught. Mm-hmm. You're spending that time that teacher wasn't spending, and you giving them understanding, hey, this is what you need while we're in this captivity. Because all these things they're teaching us, we don't even use once we get out of high school. It's a lot of babble. Nothing white supremacists to build us up, to let us stay in line with them, let know what they expect out of us.
Okay.
That's it, okay.
All right. Let's keep going.
Like the young people in Florida.
Right, and these are the things that they suspended for, right? You know what I'm saying? And they're being punished for. Right? They're saying tapping the pencil on the desk is distressful practice. Right? Yeah, they're literally tapping the pencil. You might get a little bit of writings, but it takes all of 10 seconds to literally wipe that off. You know what I'm saying? Teach them like, hey, this is something that you have to write on. This is a tool that you use for learning. Why would you want to destroy it? You have to teach a child that. You know what I'm saying? You have to literally know, okay, this child's attention span is not like this one. Right? Yeah, I got to be on this one. You still have to look out for the one that you believe has a good attention span. But most children, they don't listen no more than 5 minutes. So you got to reel them back in. You know what I'm saying? You got to reel them back in. This is why the Bible constantly repeats itself from Genesis to Revelation, because he knew that we, you know what I'm saying, wasn't going to listen. Mm-hmm. Which is why we're called the children of Israel. Yes, adults are children too in the eyes of the Most High. So guess what? We have to literally, hey, if we got to be redundant, you know what I'm saying? I used to hate when my mama repeat herself. I'm like, Ma, you told me already. Ma, you told me already. And then I turn around and do the very thing she told me not to do, even though I know she told me. And my response would be, oh, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's embedded inside of a child to do that. Right? Going to the bathroom, they call that disruption of school function. How? If a child has to use the bathroom, he or she has to use the bathroom. What you gonna do? Make that child sit there and use the bathroom on themselves? Now they in class, and now they can't learn because you know what I'm saying. They literally just their pants or skirts are wet, and then has a smell on top of that. And now
being ridiculed.
Yep. How other children are sitting there teasing them and talking about them. Those type of things scar children. But we have to literally keep them from these things happening. Right? Talking back. They say it's disturbing the peace. They call asking a question talking back now. You know what I'm saying? A teacher literally says something or is trying to teach a point, and you ask a question, and the teacher get offended. Why? Because the teacher is speaking somebody else's curriculum, and you're questioning that. Now you're disturbing the peace. Like, no, hey, we got to teach our children, right? Let's keep going.
Dang, that was crazy.
Yeah, I know. And right now, young people in Florida are organizing to change this.
Dream Defenders, check them out.
Third major factor that contributes to the pipeline is the policing of schools.
Yes, some schools maintain discipline by employing school police to patrol hallways.
When schools rely more on police, it seems as though security is more important in schools than education.
See that? They supply more officers to these schools, more security to these schools. It's more security guards in the front of a school when you first come in than you have. It's literally most schools, again, and this is when I was growing up, we had one counselor inside the entire school.
Mm-hmm.
But at minimum, we had about 5 to 6 security guards. Some patrolled the front door, they patrolled around the school, and then some in the lunchroom. But you have one counselor, somebody that you're supposed to be able to go to for counsel, right? But they barely make them available. So what do you think is going to happen? They're going to eventually not want to go to school no more. And then now, if you're not in school, it's a possibility you're in the streets. And we know what that all leads to. Either dead or in jail. All right, let's keep going.
Because now they used to have truant officer. When you miss school, they used to be at your door knocking, seeing why you was in school, wasn't in school. They don't even do that no more. They don't even care. Now when it comes to us, they don't care if you're in school or not.
Yeah, everything is digital.
Hey, we got a place for him. In the grave, like you said, or in jail, or on the street, using someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everything is digital now. They send those emails as far as your child has missed such and such days and all of that. Some schools, I've definitely heard of some schools still going out and they're knocking on doors to see, hey, what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I definitely know some schools, you know what I'm saying? And again, most of them are in our neighborhoods. They don't come out. They'll send those emails saying your child has missed this many days and such this and such that. Ain't nobody coming to knock on your door. You know what I'm saying? That stuff still goes on. It's sad, man.
God.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Students of color and white students may commit the same acts at school, but students of color are more likely to be expelled, suspended, or even arrested.
Research shows that in the U.S., 70% of students involved in in-school arrests are referred to law enforcement are Black or Latino.
Look at that. And this is as children. 70%. Right? Even though, again, we know this is an old video, but that never, it ain't more than likely, it ain't dropped that much. Why? Because we are the ones under curses, which makes our children under curses. Right? So that's 70%. That's a big number, right? So let's get the book of Isaiah real quick, chapter 42.
Isaiah 42.
Let's start at verse, you can just read verse 22.
Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared and spoiled. Snared in holes. And they are hidden in prison houses.
Where they hear that?
They are hidden in prison houses.
Y'all see that? They hid in prison house. 70%, right? Read.
And they are for a prey, and none delivereth. For a spoil, and none saith, restore.
Right? They delivered for nothing, right? Literally breaking down. Nobody's saying, hey, help these children. Build them back up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's not suspend them for, something so small. Let's not suspend them for that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying restore our children, restore the youth. Right? Read verse 23.
Who amongst you will give an ear to this?
Right? Who's listening is going to give ear to this? Right? Because it starts with us. It starts with us literally going out to those highways and byways, reaching the youth, reaching the adults to reach their children. So until we get up out of here, right? So who among you is going to give ear unto this, right? Read.
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
Right? Because we know that this place is coming to an end. Read.
Who give Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? And did not the Lord, against whom we have sinned?
See that?
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obtained unto this law.
Right? Neither were we obedient unto his law.
Obedient.
Right? We were obedient. Neither were we obedient to his law. So this is why we will make up 70% of the jails. Right? That's why. Right? So let's get back to the video. We can stop it right there.
Schools have scanners and metal detectors for when students enter the building.
Although this makes some people feel safer, other students might feel as though they're entering a prison.
That leads us to our fourth stop on the school to prison pipeline: disciplinary schools.
Disciplinary schools are a step below prison, and some of them have few educational resources. So when students are free to re-enter schooling, they are often left unprepared and undereducated to follow along and keep up with the classes.
Y'all
The
see
fifth
that?
factor that contributes to the pipeline is court involvement in juvenile detention.
That's right, 80%.
All right, you see that? And this is literally what happens in prisons. You know what I'm saying? That the courses that they give in prison is not conducive by the time they get out, especially if you have a long sentence. You know, the economy changes, society changes, and the things that they give you in prison, when you come out, it's a whole different world. You all the way behind. You know what I'm saying? And this is why at a point in time, most jobs won't hire, felons or people with misdemeanors and things of that nature. If you had any kind of record, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it was hard for you to find work, especially if you was a so-called Black or Latino. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for you to find work. You know what I'm saying? Now in today's time, you can. It's a little bit lenient, but guess what? Just like the youngins said, they're gonna discipline you inside those places. They're gonna treat you almost less than nothing, just like they do in the prison. You know what I'm saying? I've talked to I have family members that has been to a boot camp and things of that nature. And the way that they say that they were treated, you know what I'm saying, especially in the beginning, like, man, you don't treat humans like that, let alone. You don't have to yell at a child every single time to get your point across. A lot of times, all it takes is patience.
Because and that's what we done, because we was done and we was brought up in that way, because our forefathers done it. The only way you can get through that child, you gotta holler at them. They don't hear you. They hear you. You know, sometimes it's the way you talk to a child to get them to understanding. Because if you talk to them and with that knowledge and to give it to them, they're going to pick it up. Because then now they're going to start listening more carefully. They're going to try to get more understanding, because they're going to now ask you, what do that mean? Dad or mom or pa or grandpa, what does that mean? Now they're looking for knowledge. They're looking for understanding because they want it. You know, but we as a people, we didn't know how to give it to them, because we was never taught that way. Because when they brought us off them ships, they treated us like animals.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Right, you're 100% correct. Let's grab Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy 6, and we're gonna start at the top. Because again, if we have listened to this,
6 and what?
6 and 1.
6 and 1. Deuteronomy 6 and 1. Now these are the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which Yahweh your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. That thou mayest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, that thou and thy sons and thy sons' sons all the days of thy life, and that days may be prolonged.
You keep going.
Okay. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it might be well with thee, and that ye might increase mightily, as Yahweh God of thy father hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey.
See that? So he says, do these things, right, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee, thou, thy son, and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life. And look who he tells to listen. Hear therefore, O Israel. He's talking directly to us, right? He says, hey, do these things, right? Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou layest down, and when thou raisest up.
Right? So, hey, all day long. You know what I'm saying? Hey, morning time, lunchtime, dinner time. You should be talking about these commandments. You know what I'm saying? You should be telling your children, hey, when you wake up, pray. You know what I'm saying? Throughout your day, pray to the Lord, whether something is happening to you or something ain't happening to you. Pray to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Thank him for peace. You know, thank him for your sufferings. You know, because without him, you will never learn anything. You know what I'm saying? So he says, hey, all the time, speak of them. Make it to where your children literally say, man, my mom and my daddy always talking about the Lord. If that's a good thing if your children are saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what they're going to do when they get older? They're going to be in their house talking about the Most High.
And let them see it, and let them, and it's good to let your children seeing you pray. Yeah. Then they will learn how to pray unto the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yep. Now go ahead, read verse 8 and 9.
And thou shalt bend them for a sign, bring them for a sign upon thy hand, and thou shalt be as forthless between thy eyes.
Man, and guess what? You need to have that book in your hand, and your eyes need to be on it, right? Read.
And thou shalt write them upon thy posts of thy house, and on thy gates.
You got to keep notes now. You gotta write these things down. You know what I'm saying? And now, of course, we have the new age children, you know, and some of us brothers use them. And I actually used it tonight. I actually didn't write this lesson down on a piece of paper, first time ever, but I did it at, on the notes inside my phone. So even if you're doing that, you know what I'm saying? These are the new age children. Things evolve, but as long as they're doing something, he says it's supposed to be as friendly between your eyes, and you should write them down. Right? So that you don't forget these things. And if you do, guess what? You know what to go back to. Let me go pick this. We did this lesson on this. And let me go back to this lesson. It could have been a lesson that's done, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Or 2 weeks ago. Hey, whatever the spirit compels you. Now I'm gonna keep going on this video. We only got like another 40 seconds left on here.
Okay.
Students do not have lawyers when they are involved in the court system. Obviously, it's really difficult for students to return to traditional schools after being held in juvenile detention, especially if they don't have advocates.
So consider how this affects you.
Do you see the school to prison pipeline at work in your school? What are you going to do about it?
If you want to help find a solution, check out these organizations and get involved.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Darren.
We just broke it down.
All right, so again, y'all, that's out of the mouth of babes. You know what I'm saying? Out of the mouth of babes. How can you literally stop something from being a certain way? How can you literally stop our youth to grow up to be in prison cells and all of these different things if we don't teach them what needs to be taught? How can we do it? You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Like we've been saying, and like you even seen those young children say, these schools here, man, for the most part, hey, the curriculum has been set up for you to fail and for them to thrive. This is why you can go into the inner cities and the curriculum is all jacked up. They don't teach you any kind of workplace management, nothing. But you go out, to the suburbs and to these schools, they all got all kind of business classes. You see, hey man, you look at the lunchrooms are different. The food is somewhat different. Man, we got to really, really recognize what's actually happening inside of these schools. And you look inside a prison, and you'll see a lot of similarities from the lunchrooms, from the classrooms. You know what I'm saying? Literally a time that you go and the time that you get out. You can't leave until it's time to go unless an authoritative figure comes picks you up. Compare that with jail. Hey, you can't get bailed out unless somebody else come bail you out. You can have the money in your account, but it don't matter. If somebody don't come get you, you're gonna be in there until they tell you it's time to leave.
That's right. You gotta have that signature.
Yeah.
Hey, brothers in your age, somebody's gotta you can't get yourself out. Somebody got to come and get you out, sign that paper that you gonna show up, and all that.
Yeah.
So hey, they got a system, and the system is for us. It's not for them. They can get out.
Yeah.
A lot of them get out on their own accordance. Yes, they give us some time on our own accordance, a little something, shoplifting or something like that. But you get something that's a major crime, you ain't getting out of there on your own accordance.
Yep.
They can get out on their own accordance for murder.
Yep. Because guess what? As children, they're literally taught what goes on in the court system. What right, what not to say. You know what I'm saying? How not to look. You know, your posture, how you sitting, how you standing, how do you talk to the judge? You don't call the judge, whatever their last name is, man, they ain't ready to throw you under the jail. You know?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the school bus versus the prison bus. Same exact thing.
God.
It's tons of similarities between prison and school. I'm not saying that school is prison. No, I'm not saying that by a long shot. But what I am saying is just check out the similarities. Check out the classrooms. You know what I'm saying? Even when you get in college, right? It's a lot more freedom than college. You know what I'm saying? And definitely the food is 10 times better. But why is that? They realize you are a young adult now, and for the most part, once you reach that age of 18, 19, you still unsure of yourself. Guess what? You know you ain't finna let nobody mess over you. But as children, it don't matter. Hey, do what I said or whatever. College, you can walk out on your own. You don't have to put up with it. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? When you stay on campus, look at those dorm rooms. Right? They have that one window, just like it's bigger than the prison cells. But your prison cell mostly has that one little skinny window, right? It has that little flat mat that they call a bed. They give you a sheet, and they had an air on probably 50 degrees inside that prison. You know,
right.
You're in there freezing. You in there with a uniform, whatever color that they decide. Same thing in school. You in there with a uniform, whatever color that they decide. And they say that they blame it on, trying to keep the kids from being jealous of other kids. That's fortunate. No, you're literally running everything the way that you want it ran. You want them in a uniform to literally do what? Grow up. Like they said, you work inside of a factory, guess what? You're going to be in a particular uniform. Yeah, it's a little lenient now. Some factories you can wear whatever you want to wear. But for the most part, they still determine certain colors. They ain't finna allow you to come up there with no rainbow colors on. They're gonna be like, hey, you gotta change that. You know?
Right.
They controlling what you're wearing, just like in prison. Controlling the times that you eat, right? The times that you have recess, the times that they allow what do they call it? In prison, I can't think of what they call that recess. They allow
and they go out to the yard.
Yeah, they go out to the yard. Yeah. They call it the yard time. They determine that time. Hell, they determine when you wake up.
That's just right.
Like the schools basically determine when you wake up. If school starts at 8, you know what I'm saying? They're automatically, again, each household is different, but you're going to be up no later than 6, 7 o'clock. And then if you ain't there on time, they sending you letters home saying, hey, it's tardiness going on.
And you got detention afterwards. You got to make up that time in the detention room.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of similarities when it comes down to prison and school. You know, so again, in order to defeat that and to literally get that out, this is something that we have to tell our children. You know what I'm saying? I've told my children, hey, do your best inside of their schools. When you come home, I want you to, get the best grade that you can get. But while you're getting that grade, I'm going to teach you this Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to erase that. You're going to know their curriculum, and you're going to know the Most High curriculum. And then you're going to be more dangerous than anything.
And you're going to know who you are as a people.
Yeah.
You ain't coming, you ain't no African American. You ain't colored. You ain't no Negro. You ain't no nigga. You're an Israelite.
Yep.
You the greatest peoples in the world.
Yep.
But they have already told us, hey, that we're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're less than a man. And that's still a law in Washington, D.C.
Right.
That we're less than a man. Mm-hmm. They don't even consider us as being human. And we are the only human because they are the animals. But they switched that role around.
Yep. You're right. You know, and
because he called them the beast. He don't call us beasts. He called us the children of the Most High. You look in the Bible, he said when he's talking about the beast, he's talking about these other nations. Because that's the way he feel about them.
Right. So hey, we definitely gotta understand what's going on here. Right. So let's go to the book of Acts. Let's go to the book of Acts chapter 19. We're gonna start at verse 1.
19 and what?
19 and verse 1.
19 and 1. 19 and 1. Acts 19 and 1. In the third month, when the children of Israel were going forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai.
19.
Sierra.
Salakia, 19 and 1.
19 and 1. In Exodus?
No, Acts.
Oh, in Acts. I told you his phone was down. I can hear. Okay, I got you.
That's all right.
Acts 19 and 1. And it came to pass that while the apostles was at Corinth, Paul, having passed through the upper coast, come to Euphrates, and finding in Ephesus, and finding a certain disciples, he said unto them, have ye received the Holy Ghost since ye believed? And they said unto him, we have not so much as heard whether there be any Holy Ghost.
Right, so they don't even know what the Holy Spirit is during this time, right? And this is when Paul came to Ephesus. He found, they don't even know what it is, right? Read.
And he said unto them, unto what then were ye baptized? And they said, unto John baptism. Then said Paul, John verily baptized with the baptism of repentance, saying unto the people that they should believe on him which should come after him, that is, on Yahushua.
Right, so he's telling him this is what he teach. This is what he taught. Right, you're supposed to believe in Yahushua when he comes, right? Not me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, believe on him that comes after. Right, he's teaching them in this moment, right? Read.
And when they heard this, were baptized in the name of the Lord Yahushua, and when Paul had laid his hands upon them, the Holy Ghost came on them, and they spoke with tongues and prophecies.
Right? Why is that? Because we know that Paul you consider bilingual. He spoke different languages. So guess what Paul did? He taught them to speak different languages. He taught them the law. He taught them Yahushua. This is what Paul was doing right here. Right? Read.
And all the men were about 12.
Right? How many?
And he went in about 12.
See, it was 12. It wasn't 30. How it happened? How it's in school in these schools in today's time? It wasn't 30. It was 12 men. Right?
Mm-hmm. And he went into the synagogue and spoke bodily for the space 3 months, disputing and proceeding the things concerning the kingdom of Yahweh.
Right, he was disputing and persuading the things concerning of the kingdom of Yahweh. This is what Paul was doing. Right? Let's see where he was doing this at. Read number 9.
But when devices were hardened and believed not, but spoke evil of that way before the multitude.
Right? You had
He
your
departed from them.
Slack it. You had your unbelievers during that time, right? They heart was hardened, right? They spoke evil. They like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't just like they do right now. Right, Reed?
He departed from them and separated disciples, disputing daily in the school of one
Tyrannus, right? He
Tyrannus.
did this daily, disputing daily in the school, right? He's literally teaching them the spirit of Yahweh Shai, right? Which is the spirit of Yahweh. He's teaching them inside the school of Tyrannus, right? So I want to pull this up for y'all. Yeah, let me share my screen. Should I already had it. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get school in the blue letter. All right. I'm gonna get this in the blue letter so y'all can see the definition. Because it is similar to what they claim school to be today. But as we can see, the curriculum that Paul was teaching versus the curriculum that the world teaches. All right, so blue letter, going to Acts 19. Verse number 9. This thing is moving slow. All right. Hopefully y'all can see this. All right, 19 and 9.
And to go on that part when you say, remember, when you only taught 12, I remember in elementary when it was about 12 or 13 children in a class. You know, some of them had less than that.
Right.
About the time I got to junior high, it was 19 to 20 or more.
Right. All right, so as y'all can see, that's G4981. Right, and that Greek word is pronounced skole. Right, so the Strong's definition, it says probably feminine of derivative of the alternate G2192, properly loitering as withholding of oneself from work or leisure, a school as vacation from physical employment. Right. Let's go to where you at? All right there. Right. Outline biblical usage. It is freedom from labor, a place where there is leisure for anything, a school, and of course, a place for leisure. Yeah, you can learn. You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't be put to work. As far as back breaking work or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's literally supposed to be, a place where you can literally learn. As you can see in this context in Acts 19, that Paul was teaching about 12. Right? He was teaching about 12 during this particular time. And he was teaching them what? The word of the Most High. He also, as teaching them the word of the Most High, he did it in different languages. To the point where he had them doing, had them speaking it. Right? We got to understand what it is to literally talk. So you really believe that they didn't teach them? They taught them during this time what we would call English, or Spanish, or French. You know what I'm saying? This is what Paul was doing way back when, and this is what we have elders doing now. They literally have to go back and learn the Hebrew. Why? So they can teach it to us. You know what I'm saying? This is what we have to do. This should be our school. This should be, our course of action. Should we learn how to write English, how to write in English synthesis? Yeah, we should, because this is the captivity that we're in. But in the midst of learning that, we're also supposed to be learning about the spirit of Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? We're also supposed to be learning God's commandments. And they then took those Bibles out of school way back then. Why? So we wouldn't learn this. We got to understand what's going on here and how and what these things actually meant. So let's keep going.
Okay. And this continued about the space of 2 years, so that all that which dwelled in the earth heard the word of the Lord, Yahushua, both Jews and Greeks.
Right, so this is all our people. They was hearing this word, right? It was there by the space of 2 years, and they did this all the time, right? And they're literally disputing doctrines and persuading things concerning the kingdom of God, things to come. Right, read.
And Yahweh wrought special mercies by the hand of Paul, so that from his bodies was brought unto the sick the
handkerchiefs,
the handkerchiefs of apparel, and the what is that?
Diseases.
The diseases that departed from them, and the evil spells which out of them.
Right, so the evil spirits went out of them. Right, those things, those wicked doctrines that they had, you know what I'm saying, during that time, they went out of them. Why? Because they stayed there constantly doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Constantly disputing them, persuading them, hey, get out, hey, that Trinity, get that crap out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody can be saved, hey, get that crap out of here. They disputing all of this. Right, so let's jump down to jump down to verse 18. 18.
And many that believed came and confused and showed their deeds.
See that? And many that believe, they came and they confessed. They showed their work. That's what the math teacher always tell us. Hey, show your work. Hey, go ahead.
And many of them also which use curses are brought their books together and burnt them before all men. And they continued the pieces of them, and found that 50,000 pieces of silver.
See that? They literally bought all of that, the wicked stuff that they was learning out of. They brought it and they burnt the things. Right? This is what we command to do. Even in the book of Deuteronomy, these things of these other nations, once I say burn them. And he was telling us back in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 25, and we had the spirit they like, hey, don't touch the jewelry that's on those idols. You know what I'm saying? From the land of Egypt. He say burn those things. Burn those things that are contrary to the Most High. Bound those things that keep you. Burn those things that keep you away from your God. Or get rid of them. Doctrines, the ideology. You know what I'm saying? The sacrifices. Get rid of these things. Right, verse 20.
So mightily grew the word of Yahweh, it prevailed.
See that? That's how you prevail the Most High's word. By constantly being at it. Right? This is what these teachers have to do. You know what I'm saying? This is what they should be doing. Because guess what? We don't have the teachers for it. We don't have a lot of Pauls that come to the city. He's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But he will come you know what I'm saying, in and out of city, literally teaching the word of God. So this is what we have to do amongst our children. All right, so I'm gonna get this last one. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 4. We're gonna close out. We're going to Proverbs 4, verses 1 through 8.
4 and what?
4, verse 1 through 8.
All right, 4, 1 through 8. Okay. Proverbs 4, verse 1. Hear ye children, the instructions of a father, and attend to knowing understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother.
All right, so yeah, both.
He taught me also, and said unto me, let thy heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live.
All right, this is what they said. This is what Solomon's parents said to him. He said, hey, they commanded me saying, keep my commandments and live. Right? Honor thy mother and thy father. Right? Love thy brother as thyself. Right? Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. Don't kill. Right? He taught, this is what he was taught. Right? Keep the Sabbath. Passover is upon us. This is what he taught Solomon. Right? Read on.
Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. With all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor. When thou doest, embrace her.
All right, so that's what wisdom is going to do. So all of you children that's at home listening, that's going to listen later on, you know, hey, get inside this Bible. You know what I'm saying? Let your parents teach you. Let them guide you. Because what you're doing now, they've done before. But only now, when you have the Most High commandments, things are going to flourish even more than what you ever believed. You're going to be able to reach levels that your parents couldn't. Because your parents been through on a daily basis. That was without the commandments. Now that the commandments are in a lot of our lives, we can take that and we can apply it. Right? Actually, I'm gonna get one more, and then that's it. So let's go to Book of Joshua real quick. Chapter 1 and verse 8.
Joshua what?
1 and 8.
Joshua 1 and 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou might observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt have good source.
No, you got it. You skipped
success.
Read that again. Read that part again.
All right. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous. Then thou shalt have good success.
All right. So that's how we become prosperous in whatever society by keeping everything that's written in the law. Right? And only then can we be prosperous. You know, so you know that concludes today's lesson. You know, I hope everybody is edified. You know what I'm saying? You know, through the Spirit. You know, these are the Most High's work. You know, yeah, we go through and we think about how we want to do things, but ultimately, this is all the Spirit of the Most High. You know, we literally can't come any lesson, you know, not speaking our own words. We gotta literally what the Most High tells us what was already written for our learning. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's all I got for tonight. Elder, you got anything you want to add before we close up?
No. I want to read verse 9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid. Neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy Elohim is with thee, wheresoever thou goest. So hey, we still got a ways to go. A little ways to go before we got out of here. But wherever we go, we got to remember these laws and commandments. And we got to put them out there forth to brothers and sisters who don't know. And some who's looking for that understanding. We can't turn them away because they don't know. We got, just like they're trying to embrace, we got to embrace them and bring them in. And give them some kind of understanding of these laws and commandments, which we've been far departed from. So we don't even know as a nation of peoples. We think whatever Esau says, that's the law and commandments. That is the Antichrist. Everything he's teaching us is the Antichrist. If you keeping Christmas, you Antichrist. If you keeping Thanksgiving, you Antichrist. Mm-hmm. If you doing birthdays, Mother Day, Father Day, you the Antichrist. The Antichrist is not coming. He's always been here. And we've been the Antichrist also. Con, that's all I had.
All right, Con, y'all. You know, again, you know, the water for dropping through, the water for hit the like button. Also, the big water for the donations that we've been receiving. As y'all can see at the bottom of the ticker, you know, willing, and the Most High put it upon your spirit to send us donations. You know, it's Cash App, $ LOI Detroit. Y'all can, you know, on our YouTube page, also via phone, going down on the ticker at the bottom. Email as well, LOIDetroit12@gmail.com. You know, and also the Lions of Israel page as well. You know, to see upcoming feast days and things of that nature. And I can actually share my screen. I'm gonna pull up the calendar just so y'all can see what we do have. All right, so we are in December, as y'all can see. You know, so we have Feast of Dedication coming in. We have Feast of Dedication coming in on the 24th that evening. Right, so when y'all see Israelites, you know, celebrating, having a good time, hell no, we not celebrating no wicked Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's the feast of dedication. We're celebrating the destruction, the Most High delivering us from our enemies. Right? So that's what we doing on the 24th. Right? Same thing. Hey, boom, we got right after the dedication ends, we go right into the new moon, which is December 30th. You know, and we're gonna celebrate that thing. You know what I'm saying? The Most High gives us more than enough days. They only have about maybe 6-7 holidays that they celebrate. And the Most High gives us at minimum a new moon every single month. So we got to be thankful for that thing, man. So, you know, with that, Shalom, Ashar Shabbat. Y'all brothers and sisters, enjoy y'all Sabbath. You know, get plenty of rest. And again, there's more edification going out tomorrow. I'll definitely drop and I'll share the link of, you know, via my YouTube page, things of that nature. But it'll definitely be on my Detroit YouTube page, Lions of Israel class YouTube page, Maccabeestv YouTube page. You know, class starts 10 a.m. sharp. You know what I'm saying? So you up, get into it. If you wake up later than that, catch the replay. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom, you have a shot by Rocket Thought.
Spacious air, reflecting the way of life under the Florida sky. Even the lobbies funnel in the great outdoors.
Chosen.
I was set apart for God's use.
Chosen.
I was set apart for God's use. Formed in His image.
Chosen. They say the chain of Shaitan is not that strong. They say his time is running out, he ain't got that long. They say murder, murder, kill, this is not that song. Said I won't amount to nothing, they got that wrong. Cause I was set apart and I was shown the light. And if I get the kingdom, I'll be clothed in white. 1/3 will be delivered and the rest were blinded. Their fate is set in stone, what you ain't read the fine print? Christ is gonna give a crown to us. In the end we'll have the nations bowing down to us, with their faces to the ground to us. It's the truth, as crazy as it sounds to us. Jacob forever rules, and we're his precious jewels. Showed us love and patience, put us above the nations. And that's the gospel, thank God for choosing me. Bad news for you, is really good news for me.
I was set apart for God's use.
Chosen.
I was set apart for God's use. Formed in His image.
Let me tell you why. We have a different kind of shine, a different kind of mind. The rhythm's not the same, we're on a different type of time. With a different kind of pace, a different kind of race. The season's not the same, we have a different kind of taste. A different kind of salt, we are so not them. Got my sword and my shield, man, I'm so locked in. And when I came to serve Yahweh, I put my whole heart in. So I can't sit calm, I'm no Martin. And that's a reach, y'all, chosen to teach y'all. Every Sabbath you can find us in the streets, y'all. Danyaahla, my nickname is Priest, y'all. In the gym, they say that I'm a beast, y'all. Set apart, the nations all hating me. Set a trap, they lying in wait for me. Chris Paul, they don't wanna play with me. But if you love me, I'm asking that you pray with me. Cause
I was set apart for God's use.
Chosen.
I was set apart for God's use. Formed in His image.
Chosen. And thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people, chosen above all people that's on the face of the earth. That's Deuteronomy 7:6. That's you, black and Latin man. Chosen. That's you, black and Latin woman. Yeah. And we the chosen. Chosen.